Alright, so taking a look at Sage, her first ability, Barrier Orb, takes 300 credits to purchase, C to cast, equip a Barrier Orb, fire places a solid wall, alt fire rotates the targeter. So when I hit C, it's going to bring up this animation here. And wherever this animation is aimed at or pointed at, it's going to create an ice wall. So let's go ahead and just click mouse 1 here and create a wall like this. And it creates this ice wall that is super tanky. It takes about 2.5 rifle clicks to destroy one block. So not only does it tank, it also lasts for a good deal amount of time. I believe it's around 30 to 40 seconds. So this is a great way to create barricades, delay opponents, block off line of sight. Very versatile. The cool thing about this wall is that you can change the orientation of how this wall is created in multiple ways. So for example, if I'm clicking C right now, I'm just clicking through C, you can see it changes 90 degrees. So I can do it straight ahead, I can do it left and right, perpendicular in front of me, as well as adjusting the distance of how far this wall is casted by looking on the floor underneath me or getting the max distance looking all the way down there. So also you can hold mouse 2 and rotate the wall. So as I'm holding mouse 2, I'm moving the mouse to the right and it rotates the wall clockwise and vice versa. If I move the mouse to the left, I can go to counterclockwise and I can shift through quickly. I can get the distance here. So it can be very versatile in how you create the wall. So there is some skill involved or some kind of memorization, I guess, of all the different ways that you can adjust the wall. So let's show an example here. So let's say we're attacking the C site and we're afraid of this whole right side. Well, I can hit C, get the right orientation, I can rotate it, and then mouse 1, and then it creates this wall here, and all of this is covered except this little gap. So you can throw walls around corners. Say we're trying to get to this point right here, I can quickly cast this, and now I can cross. So you can do stuff on the fly and aim the wall and change the orientation on the fly without any loss of movement speed. Now, some cool tricks with this wall is that you can actually boost yourself on top of higher objects like this bomb box right here. So say if we have an operator, we can boost ourselves up on this box and then peek down here along C and catch people off guard. And you notice that the wall is still up, so it's actually a ridiculous amount of time. I'm not sure exactly, but it seems like at least 40 seconds. So that's about like, 30 to 40% of the round that wall lasts. Another spot you can get to is say if I want to get up here. Oops. Get up on this box, I can do that. Of course, you can just stand on the ice wall too and peek over angles. And you can get really crafty with this and get to higher spots. And there's only 3 characters that can really do this. It's Sage with the wall, there's Jet with the updraft ability, and then there's Omen with the teleport. So only 3 characters that can actually boost up in certain spots. So you can catch a lot of players off guard if they're not really expecting it. Another cool trick that you can do with the wall is say if we're on offense and we plant the spike. This is a very common spot here. You can plant here and then you can actually cast a wall underneath the spike and then basically push off defenders from defusing it. A great way to use wall on the defensive side is say we are retaking the A site here and they planted the spike and we know the offensive player went over here towards long. So say the spike is planted, oops, let me just step out of the way and drop it. So let's say it's planted right there. And we have the information there over there. Well, we can come over here, jump over and actually cast the wall and start defusing. And again, since the wall is super tanky, if they don't have anything to teleport above here, jump above here, or throw any like projectiles over, it's going to take them again about 2.5 full rifle clips. So if it's a one-on-one, it's going to be pretty much a guaranteed full defuse if they can't do anything to get past or over that wall or throw any projectiles over that wall. Sage's second ability, Slow Orb, takes 100 credits to purchase, Q to cast, equip a slowing orb, fire to throw a slowing orb forward that detonates upon landing, creating a lingering field that slows players caught inside of it. So when I hit Q, I get this little ice ball that I can throw. And it works very similar to Phoenix's fireball. So if I just left click, just default, it's gonna throw this little orb. And when it lands, it's gonna create this field on the floor that any opponent or teammate that runs over it will be significantly slowed and snared and create a audio cue that people are running over it. So it's super, super good for delaying opponents, trapping them into certain areas. And one thing to note is that if I just do stand still in this, there is no audio cue. So sometimes you can juke sages out. They think that maybe, you know, you're hiding here, he throws, or he or she throws a slowing orb and you just stand still. You might be able to juke them out. So you could be spotting over here, you spot the enemies coming, you can go ahead and bank an orb here and block off this entire choke, and now it's like pretty much impossible to cross unless you're one of those characters that have movement abilities. One thing that you can do is say you're playing a Sage versus Sage and she throws one of these freezing fields. Well, I can throw a wall here. Oops. I can throw a wall here and then travel past this slowing orb. So that was super clumsy. Let me just do it one more time. So say if they throw a slowing field, I can throw a wall here and create a bridge to get over it. Sage's third ability, Healing Orb. E to cast it. Equip a Healing Orb. Fire with your crosshairs over a damaged ally to activate a heal over time on them. Alt fire while Sage is damaged to activate a self-heal over time. So it's very simple. If I click E to activate it, there's this little orb that I can throw at a teammate and it heals them over time. And if I want to self-heal, I'll right click. So mouse 1 to heal an ally and mouse 2 to self-heal. And this spell is great because say if your teammate takes damage early around, well, they can just come run to you and you can throw them and heal them up. And then there's a cooldown, so it recharges. So let's just go ahead and take some self damage here. So jump out this window, take some crater damage. And then if I right click, you'll see the healing on the bottom left and I self heal. And the counter, you see it starting to click down. Well, it's 35 seconds. So you can actually use multiple heals around. Say you go for an early advantage, try to get a pick early round, try to get an advantage, but you take damage. Well, you can simply fall back if you survive and self-heal and start that cooldown. Sage's ultimate, Resurrection, Z to cast it. Equip a resurrection ability. Fire with your crosshairs placed over a dead ally to begin resurrecting them. After a brief channel, the ally will be brought back to life with full health. It's it's like a free life. And you click Z, and what happens is when an ally is down on the floor, you go ahead and just mouse 1 them, and it resurrects them after a few seconds. Some key things to note is that the distance to resurrect someone is super close. So you have to be around 2 or 3 tiles away, 2 or 3 footsteps, mouse 1. And when you resurrect your opponent, there is like a slight animation or charge time until they're spawned alive. So you don't want to resurrect them in the open, in the line of fire. You may need to throw up a wall and then resurrect them when they have cover.